Welcome to another Using Chrome River at LCTCS video.
This video on expense reports is about requesting reimbursement for non-travel expenses. Non-travel expense reports are a bit different than travel expense reports from the header all the way through. So let me go over some of the basics with you. For specific instructions, always talk to your accounts payable department, see what their requirements will be. To start an expense report for non-travel purposes, click on New Expense Report, and where we normally would import a pre-approval, we will go ahead and use the travel type of non-travel, which does away with many of the other fields. You'll of course want to say that it's for in-state and put a descriptive purpose such as reimbursements. For July 2019. When you save that, the non-travel expense category appears, and on that there are four options: other operating expenses, business meals or special meals, operating services, and operating supplies. Here's the list of items under the operating services category, the operating supplies category, and the other operating expenses category, along with their account code. Depending upon what category you choose, different options will appear. Operating expenses are essentially awards and recognition or other miscellaneous charges. You would complete it by choosing the appropriate category, putting the date of your expense, the amount of your expense, and the description of what it is. And of course, you're asking for reimbursement, so that's the only option. You will need to search for the allocation, the fund org that's appropriate. If you need a code for the activity, choose that, otherwise choose NA. The GL account is assigned based on the type of expense. You'll of course need to add your receipt, when you're satisfied that it's correct, save it, and it adds it to your expense report. The other categories, such as operating services, are the same. The main difference is your choice of the type of expenses. Same with operating supplies. It looks exactly the same. The type of expenses is different. One category that's unique, and only those individuals authorized for actual reimbursement for meals is allowed to use this category, called business meals, special meals. What needs to be done here is the date, the amount, business purpose, and everything is all going to be similar to what we did before. And In this case, it is possible that it was charged to college, but we're going to mark this as paid by the traveler. And it will default to the same allocation as any prior item. Unless there are multiples, then of course you need to choose that. You will need to put your receipt, however, what is required by state regulation is that you must have a list of the guests at the meal. Now, what the system allows us to do, and as you'll notice, the person requesting reimbursement is normally at the meal, so they are automatically added, and by default allocates 100% of the expense to this person. However, you're not allowed to go out by yourself, I don't believe. You can choose internal or external individuals. You can add them. You can say external and add guests, and you can it allows you to type for internal people, and it'll look for other individuals. But if you add an external guest, it'll come up and ask you for their first name, their title, and their company name. And when you add them, the system will automatically distribute it. The other thing that you're able to do is you can upload an external comma delimited file. If you have a number of guests and you want to load them automatically instead of manually typing them in, if you click on this, it says uploading the list will override your current selected guest. You can do that. The other thing is there's a link for CSV format guidelines. If you click on that, the system will come up and it'll give you the help on how to do that. Look at guest loader and it'll show you how this works. And you can even click on a sample of the file which will be downloaded for you to use. Right? If you have a list, click on Upload, and you'll see what has happened is it has added internal and external people based on the list that was provided. Alright? And it will allocate the dollars by the number of people. Once you're done, you save that. You'll see that it's all validated items with their receipts, and this is the amount you're requesting reimbursement for. If that's all you're asking for reimbursement for, you've documented them properly, you have your receipts, and it's able to submit this expense report requesting reimbursement. You click Save just like you would on any other expense report, and you are certifying that the expenses listed are true and correct to the best of your knowledge and are for legitimate business purposes. You can view it again if you want. It shows you the breakdown, and you submit it. And once submitted, it comes out of the drafts, goes into the submitted reports. Here's our reimbursements for July. And it will go through the approval process as appropriate.
Thank you for watching. Please be sure to view other videos on the Using Chrome River at LCTCS series.